Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm back to another video. My name is Sarah if you're new, and today I wanted to sit down and just chat with you guys about some of my wedding regrets. I want to start this video by saying my wedding day was beautiful, it was amazing, it was the best day of my life, but I do have a few things that, like, looking back on, I wish I did differently. And if I could go back in time, I would change a few things. Not saying my wedding day wasn't great, but there's always gonna be some things that maybe you would like to change if you could go back in time. I know a lot of you guys are brides planning your wedding, and maybe you could take some of these into consideration while you're planning, and maybe they can help you in your process. So let's get right on into the regrets. I have them all right on my phone here. We're just going to go through them. The first one is not telling my videographer and photographer like exactly what I wanted. I think this is a big one because especially with my videographer, I got my wedding video back. I actually posted two versions because the first one I got back didn't have our personal vows in it, and that's something that really upset me because that was the most important part of our day, and I don't know why they didn't put our personal vows in, but I wish I went through and like told him I want this in my video. My dad's speech wasn't in our video, and there's a lot of things that you don't see on your wedding day that you may want to have in your video specifically. So maybe giving a list to your videographer saying I want my personal vows, I want my parents' speeches, I want like so and so forth and all this stuff. Like my parents entering the reception, all that kind of stuff, just to maybe make a little list of exactly what you want to see in your wedding video. And maybe if you want more speeches, or if you don't want as many speeches and you want more like music playing over it, like kind of tell them exactly what you want so you get what you want. Luckily my videographer did change our video for us, and he added our personal vows in, which made it a lot more special. I don't know why he didn't put in our personal vows, but that completely made the video 100 times better. So I did post both of those versions on YouTube. If you haven't already seen them, you can check them out. Same with the photographer. I got tons of great pictures, but I wish I made a list of exactly what I wanted, because I told her I wanted more of like a vintage feel to my pictures. Like by the stone barn that we had, it was beautiful, and I feel like most of our pictures were taken under a really pretty tree, but it was just like really green and not exactly what I wanted. The pictures were great, and we did get a different, like some sort of variety with where we were for the pictures, but I wish we did more around the stone barn and the front porch and made it more like a vintagey type of feeling wedding. But they were still beautiful, and I do love the pictures, but that is one thing. The next one kind of goes with the first regret as well, but not getting enough pictures with my parents. I feel like we only got like 1 or 2 pictures while we were doing our family pictures, like our swapping in and out of everyone. Obviously I got pictures with my dad at my first look with him, and I got pictures with my mom when she was putting my dress on, but like only 2 or 3. I do wish I got more pictures throughout the whole day with my parents, and not just like all of them with Matt. Obviously that's very important, but my parents are also really important to me, and I just wish I had vocalized wanting more pictures with them as well. And I don't think I got a single picture with just me and Matt's parents, which would have been really nice too, but oh well. Moving on, my next wedding regret is having our officiant just be a random officiant that we found online and not someone that meant something to us. I really wish that we had Matt's dad be our officiant for us, because I feel like that would have made it a lot more special. I know him being like his dad, he already had a part in the wedding, so maybe he wouldn't have wanted to, but we wanted some sort of religious aspect with our ceremony, so that's why we did hire like a normal officiant. But I wish we did either a family member or a friend. I know a lot of people are doing that now. Both my friends that are getting married recently, one just got married, she had her best friend or like one of her really good friends be her officiant, and then my friend getting married next year is also having like a family member be her officiant. And I think that's so much more intimate and special because our officiant didn't know us at all, obviously didn't know us. We had a phone call with him and he asked us like a few random questions right on the spot. It was like, where was your first date? What was your first thought of Matt? And like, I could not think of something when he was like randomly just asking me these questions. I was like, I don't know. Like, I wish either we had more time to think about these questions because they were like, yes, they were authentic, but it was like so spur of the moment. I just had to think, like say the first thing that came to my mind instead of like making it sound good, because then he just took those answers and like read them off. Like their first date was at a taco restaurant and it was like, it was information about us, but it just wasn't the way I want it to come off. I feel like it was just really choppy almost because it was just a bunch of random questions that he kind of said in a row instead of it being like a story. Obviously we didn't have a story to tell him when we had our phone call, and if I could go back I would 100% have someone important to us do it. The next regret is not having a last dance. I think that would have been a really cool moment between Matt and I, and like kind of ending our wedding after everyone has already left. It was only us in the venue. But the thing at our venue was a lot of people stayed after the wedding technically shut down because we had a bonfire. Really, the music just had to be off by 11 p.m. and then everyone went outside and we sat by the bonfire, we did s'mores and hung out. So it wasn't like everyone was leaving, and I think that's why we didn't really do something like that, but it would have been nice to have a last dance. I know a lot of people are doing that now too. So the next one kind of coincides with the last dance, but it's just like not getting enough alone time. I feel like in the beginning of the wedding we were really good at staying together. We ate our dinner together, obviously we did our first dance, we cut the cake, and then we were making our rounds trying to say hi to all of our family and friends. And I feel like we kind of split up to do that because we had so many guests. We wanted to kind of make our rounds and then enjoy the night, obviously. But I feel like we were just like dancing, I don't know, I just feel like we weren't together the whole night. Something that was really nice that we did after our ceremony, we sat down, just the two of us, and ate our hors d'oeuvres. Our caterer brought us a plate of every hors d'oeuvre that we had, and we just sat and kind of chilled by ourselves for 10 minutes. That was like the best. That was such a nice moment. I loved doing that. And then we joined cocktail hour, but I wish we did a little bit more together throughout the night. I feel like we were with our friends separately, with our families, walking around saying hi to different people, and we kind of like got separated throughout the night, and I just wish we spent the whole night like glued to each other, but that is okay. We had a great time. The next one is not making enough time to like enjoy my cake and my food and my desserts and everything that I put into the wedding. I cut the cake and then didn't even like have any cake, and I didn't have the desserts at all. I feel like I was a little bit rushed through eating my dinner, which is something I don't love, that I was like feeling rushed and stuff, but we had to do like our dances and we played the shoe game, we cut our cake and all this stuff. So I guess we kind of were rushed because we were supposed to get all that stuff done while everyone else was eating their dinner. But I just wish like I took a minute and sat down and ate a piece of cake and ate my desserts, because the night went so fast and I'm like, I didn't get to enjoy like my wedding cake or my like dessert table or coffee or anything. Like I honestly didn't even know the desserts and coffee were put out. They weren't announced. So all that kind of stuff. I just wish I sat down, took a minute, and enjoyed everything that I put into it. I put so much work into this wedding, and I feel like I missed a lot of it. So next big regret that I have is not practicing our first dance and not practicing our walk-in. I know these are like little things, especially the walk-in. It's like a lot of people do make a little routine out of it, but we literally just walked in and we're like, woo! I wish we practiced it a little bit more, and especially the first dance. We did not practice dancing at all. We literally just swayed, and I wish we did a little bit more of a choreographed dance. Nothing like special, but just something that wasn't just like swaying. but we didn't practice that, and that's something I regret because we got up there and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel really weird. Like, I feel uncomfortable. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where to put my hands. It was still great regardless. The next regret I have is a really big one, and I regret getting my hair and makeup done. I actually touched on this a little bit in my wedding Q&A video I made. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll link it. You guys can check it out. But I really do regret getting my hair done because it was such a simple hairstyle that I definitely could have done it myself, and I really didn't love the way she did it. I felt like they were a little bit on the rude side too, and as soon as they walked in, like, the vibe changed, and it was like they were bossing us around and they were like kicking my dog. It was like a very weird experience. I know my dogs were in the way and I understand that, but like, it was still a little weird to me. And my makeup honestly didn't look that great. It's funny because I had my makeup trial. My camera light's blinking, 1 second. Okay, camera died, but I'm back. So my hair and my makeup, it's kind of the same boat. I hired the same company to do both. And when I went for my trial, I really liked the way she did my makeup. I feel like she took a lot of time on me. She wrote down so many notes of like exactly what I wanted to get changed, products she used, and all this stuff. And then the morning of the wedding, she did nothing the same. She didn't reference her notes at all, literally didn't use a single product that was the same. And all of the notes that I said, like, I want my eyebrows to be really like fluffy and like lined, like filled in like I normally do. And she didn't do any of that. She was really rushing, and it was just like not a great experience. So that's definitely something I regret. I could have 100% done it better myself. And I feel like they were just like rushing really badly. That is something I definitely regret spending the money on. It was kind of expensive for getting your hair and makeup done, and it's not something I would do again. I'm telling you that right now. Okay, my next regret is not making a song list for the DJ, or not making like a no playlist for the DJ. I gave them some sort of structure. I said I wanted my songs to feel like an 8th grade dance, like a lot of Black Eyed Peas and like Shakira and that kind of stuff, like fun dancing music. I wish I took the time to make a song list. That just was not on my priority list because I was so busy. So I didn't have time to make that list. I wish I did. But if you have time to make that list for your DJ, I would recommend doing it, just so you know exactly what is going to play and you know all your favorite songs will play, all that kind of stuff. I think we did end up having a good like song list. People were requesting songs, and I think it all went really well. I think making a song list for your DJ is just a good idea. The next regret I have is not doing anything for people to throw when I walk back down the aisle with Matt. Like petals or bubbles or something that the guests could have like thrown at us for a really cool photo op when we were walking back down the aisle. And this is something I honestly didn't even think of until I went to my friend's wedding like 2 weeks ago. She had little petals that everyone got to throw, and I just thought it was a really cute way to incorporate your guests. And also, I think the photos will be really cool with them walking back down the aisle and all the petals like floating in the air. But yeah, that is definitely something to consider if you're planning your wedding, just something to get really cool photos while you're walking back down the aisle. And the last regret, this is my 11th regret, but it's just a little bonus item. My little bonus item is that I regret drinking too much. I definitely overdrank on my wedding night. There's just little chunks of the night that I don't remember, which kind of sucks because it's my wedding. But I had a fun time. My drink, which was the Frank, I did vodka Sprite with a splash of sour. It was like the biggest hit of the wedding. Everyone loved it. They actually ran out of Sprite twice and had to run back to the store to get more Sprite. And they said it was like the most popular signature drink they've ever seen at a wedding that they've had. So I felt really proud of that. So that was awesome. That is like my favorite go-to drink. So I'm happy everybody liked it at the wedding. But I definitely overdrank. Like the bar was closing around 10:30 and I went up and got 4 drinks. And that is what threw me overboard. And then my flight was the next morning to Greece, or the next afternoon to Greece. So I was really feeling sick in the morning, pretty much up until our flight. Thank gosh I was better for the flight, but that is one of my big regrets of the wedding. And then really quickly, since that was my last regret, I want to just quickly talk about like a few things that I do not regret at all. And like I really am happy that I chose to do this for the wedding. The first one being our first look. This was something that we went back and forth a lot on because Matt is very traditional. He wanted to see me for the first time going down the aisle. And I am so happy we decided against that because we would have been taking pictures for the whole time during cocktail hour, and I'm really happy we got to enjoy the time with our guests. And it made it really special reading our vows to each other privately instead of during our ceremony. I think it was just really intimate, and it was a nice moment between Matt and I, and nobody really else besides our photographers, and our moms were watching too, which was really nice. And our photographer said she's never had that much time to do couple photos ever. So like we scheduled it perfectly to make it like 3 or so hours of photos for just Matt and I, after we got our like family photos done and bridesmaid photos and all that stuff. So we had plenty of time to get a bunch of photos in, which was great, and that is exactly why I do not regret doing the first look. I think it would have been hard to get all the photos I wanted, especially with all of our guests there. It just like would have been difficult. So I'm happy we did a first look. The next thing that I do not regret is the venue that I picked. It was gorgeous, and the fact that we stayed the night at the venue. We did I guess it was a 24-hour stay, so we had to be out by 10 a.m. the next morning, but there was 2 cottages on property, and it was gorgeous. Matt and I got our own cottage, and then our whole bridal party stayed in the other cottage, so we were able to stay really late that night. They didn't kick us out, which was nice. Everyone stayed at the bonfire, I think until like 3 a.m. is when we all went to bed. So it was a blast. It was so much fun. But that is something I definitely do not regret. And the last one is my dress pick. If you didn't already see any of the wedding videos, you wouldn't know, but my dress had like beautiful long wings, like cape type things, almost like a tulle cape, and it was gorgeous. And going into wedding dress shopping, I specifically wanted a very tight dress, like a mermaid fit and flare type dress, and I am so happy I went against that and picked a more ball gowny, like A-line type dress, because it felt so bridal and it felt so pretty. It's the one day of your life that you're going to be able to wear a giant white dress. So I'm really happy I did that. And I also didn't have to worry about like fitting in my dress and it being really tight and showing my stomach and all this stuff. That is definitely something I do not regret. My dress was gorgeous. I absolutely loved it. It had beautiful wings that I was able to dance with and like throw around. But yeah, there is actually one more bonus regret that I just came to my mind actually, and it's that like my bustling of my dress broke multiple times. Like it kept falling off, and then they actually just completely broke off. So that is something I really regret not getting like done better, or I don't even know what like how I would fix that, because like you never would know going into the wedding that my bustle wouldn't work properly. But only the one strong hook in the middle is what stayed, and the rest, I had 5 bustle hooks and 4 of them like pretty much broke off. So I wish the bustle was better, but that is okay. There was just a lot of dress stepping on, but it wasn't the end of the world. I still had a fun time. And with that, those are all of my wedding regrets and the things that I absolutely do not regret about my wedding. I hope this may have helped you a little bit in your wedding planning. I know a lot of you guys following me are brides and planning your wedding, so maybe you got some little tidbits of information from this video, some things you may do for yours or may not do for your wedding. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure you subscribe and stick around. I know all the wedding content is pretty much coming to an end. I may have 1 or 2 more wedding related videos, but I hope you guys are still interested in me and my life, and I'm gonna be bringing you guys along a bunch of vlogs and fun stuff like that. So I hope you guys subscribe and stick around, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.